Hello, 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 Ravenites. Welcome to the April edition of Ravencoin Community Day. I appreciate you guys all being here. I see that we have a good group so far. This is exactly what I was looking for. We have Brick in the house, C3 Media. We have Kai, Kinkaju, and Serums. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the foundation link here, just to plug that in really quick, ravencoin.foundation, just to get started of what Ravencoin is for the people that are just finding out what Ravencoin is. Here we go. So helping Ravencoin soar. The Ravencoin Foundation is not Ravencoin. Ravencoin is open source software that volunteers to create a network of nodes that constructs a massively replicated blockchain-based ledger for an RVN and for any other asset tokens that gets created by the network user. All right, so basically, if you guys are trying to, you need some help with Ravencoin, you guys can reach out to Ravencoin Foundation or just about anybody in Ravencoin. There's so many people in Ravencoin that they'll be more than willing to help you guys out. I mean, that's what everybody's doing right now. All these folks that are here with me, they're here to help out. They're here to support the channel, support Ravencoin. So I appreciate you guys for being here. All right. So the main reason why I'm here is to go over the developments of what's been going on with Ravencoin. So let's go over to the development channel here in the Discord. So once again, there is a Discord group for Ravencoin, and there's a development channel there. There's also development meetings. Okay. So it's been about a month, a little over a month since my last episode. I did the last. So I've been doing Ravencoin Community Day every single month, and there's been a lot of communication since last month. So let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit on development meetings and see what's been going on there. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll back up to. It's probably going to be a lot of development meetings. I think I'm just going to go back to the beginning of the month. Let's see here. I think it would be April 7th would be the first meeting for this month. There's so much communications there. It's crazy. You guys still able to hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. Whoa, there is so much communications on the 7th. What has been going on? I was on vacation. I'm back. I want to see what's going on here. Whoa. Whoa, there's so much that happened on the 7th. What happened? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm scrolling as high as quickly as I can to get to the top of the 7th. But there's just so much communication. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read all this. There's just so much here. Okay, there we go. All right, good. All right, let's start the day. It's gonna be April 7th, 2023. Channel open. Welcome, friends. So this is Serums. Serums at work. All right, so bad guy TY responds. P2SH for assets. And you got a lot of emoji responses there. Raven Market Man responds, hello everyone, channel is now open. I'd like to introduce myself as the new coordinator around these parts. Let's really push to make this an inclusive environment that welcomes everyone and really encourages people to be involved however they can. Fram responds, hello everyone. Kai responds, hey dudes. Barry Styles with a screenshot of the open source mining bounties. Ravencoin is a decentralized proof of work protocol. In order to support the open source ecosystem, the foundation has set up 2 contribution addresses to fund the creation of an open source pool and state-of-the-art miner for the Kappa algorithm. Pool. This bounty will be for development of a simple to install open source Kappa pool, preferably by forking an existing state-of-the-art multi-coin pool and adding support for RVN. Okay. Can I get a response on this? Barry Styles is saying, all right, so Raven Market Man responds, I really like this idea. Actually, instead of gatekeeping the development of mining pools, it opens up the playing field to distribute hash rate more evenly. Bad guy TY responds, no, he already open sourced his code. Barry Styles responds, idea, it's been developed and done. RVN Market Man, my apologies, LOL. Serums at Tron, any thoughts? Bad guy TY, looking to get the bounty, I believe. Kai responds, they should close and pay the bounty. What? They should close and pay the bounty is where we are with that. Then. Okay. Barry Style says, actually, Rev 2. Kai responds, it may be worth cross-posting to the Raven Foundation if that isn't where the OP came from and if Tron isn't in attendance. Barry Styles responds, I've brought it to several times, not just with Tron. Pinkager responds to Kai, no. How it works is you submit a proposal to the Foundation. That proposal is reviewed and accepted / denied. The bounty is posted and listed as claimed. Barry Styles responds, Tron's email actually listed, yeah, I have done, ×3. Kinkager responds, this is not even a donation address for that proposal. Kai responds to Kinkajou, so it's just payment and they are waiting on them. Kinkager responds, let alone a bounty as far as I know. Kai responds, hi Tron. Bad guy 2 I responds, shh, he speaks. Kinkager responds to Kai, if the Foundation accepted the proposal and agreed to pay for it, which remains unclear. Kai responds to Kinkajou, not for long, I bet. Kinkajou responds, because there isn't even an amount listed. I see. All right, so here comes in Tron. Open source mining pool is still eligible for the bounty. It needs to be easy to set up. README should allow someone to set up their own pool. Obviously, a bit of tech savvy would be expected, but should be very descriptive. Birdman responds, hey Tron, I really appreciate you showing up. Seal Club responds, at Tron, does this have any minimum requirements? Birdman responds to Tron, I believe that Barry Styles is saying he's completed the bounty. And Barry Styles with a thumbs up or a carrot, a couple carrots. That's my take on it as well. Tron may just need to run the code or have someone review it, says Kai. Raven Market Man responds to Bad Guy TY. I believe this is still being worked on. Kinkajou, is there anything we could collectively do to assist with this coming to vote? Raven Market Man responds, excuse me, Bear Styles responds to Raven Market Man. The code is already in code base. Just needs the appropriate version byte to be activated. Kinkajou responds to Raven Market Man. I'm missing a ton of pool contact info. See hashtag pool -shills. Tron responds, at one point we were trying to get code for one of the bigger pools. Didn't work out. Raven Market Man responds to Kinkajou. Okay. That will take some group effort, I'd imagine. I'll try to pick up where I can to help on this. Nifty Ravens responds, doesn't P2SH go against the core values of what Ravencoin was built for? P2SH transactions can be less transparent than traditional transactions, as they obscure the public key involved in the transaction. This can make it more difficult to trace the flows of funds on the network, which may be concerned for the users or regulators. Barry Styles response, at Tron, if you were able to discuss in PM, happy to package it up whichever way was required. From memory, I didn't ask for a large amount. Tron responds, if Barry Styles has completed the bounty for open source pool, just needs to claim it. We'll add it to the Ravencoin repo and pay out the bounty in Raven. Kinkajou responds, not having P2SH goes against the core values of Ravencoin was built for, safer custody of your own assets. Tron responds, DM/PM me. Nifty Ravens jumps into the conversation with, plus, hardworking to get P2SH is extremely risky, could possibly destroy the chain. Raven Marketman responds to Nifty Ravens, it's already live for Raven. This is for assets which controls multi-sig of assets, which is extremely relevant to the core of Raven and allows security tokens to be managed by multiple people to really encourage transparency and security. Seal Club responds, what if I also have a MIT pool repo? Nifty Ravens responds to Kinkajou, disagree. How are my assets not safe? Seal Club responds, first to submit wins. Nifty Ravens responds, take my main asset from me. Bad Guy TY responds, if we can get asset P2SH and mineable assets, and I bring the squawker 2P2 HTLC up, we could have assets mined on Raven, tradable without exchanges, purely peer-to-peer and trustless. RVN Market Man responds to Nifty Ravens, requiring multiple people to sign off on dispersant assets only brings more security, in my opinion. Can get your response to Nifty Ravens? Why don't you reread what I said and not ignore the part I made a point to type in bold? Nifty Ravens' response to Arvin Marketman: potential for misuse. P2SH can be used to create complex smart contracts with multiple conditions and triggers. While this can be a powerful feature, it also introduces the potential for misuse or unintended consequences. For example, a poorly designed smart contract could be vulnerable to attack or could result in unintended behavior. Kai responds, I wanted to bring up mineable assets and what's needed for a timeline on that. As I understand it, P2SH was not a prerequisite and it did not require a hard fork, but rather it required pool participation. Kinkajou responds, lack of multi-sig for assets is a huge issue. Tron responds to Nifty Ravens, small amount of technical risk in new code, larger amount of risk in the hard fork. Barry Styles responds, P2SH still requires a redeem script. Isn't like they're just free for all to collect. Nifty Ravens response to Tron, this. RVN Marketman response, agreed on the risk of hard fork. It needs to be worth it completely and without dispute. This is why RSK, in my opinion, but no need to dive into that. Kinkajou responds to Nifty Ravens. It also threatens your business model by allowing users to trade assets in a trustless manner. TY responds, well, we only really didn't go through with it previously as no one had a use case for it. Okay. RVN Marketman responds, agreed. Kinkajou responds, perhaps you should disclose that. Kai responds, if you want to actually see P2SH outside of the Evermore's testnet before we forked it to here, that's one of the advantages of it existing, in my opinion. Nifty Ravens responds, Ravencoin is a blockchain platform that was designed to provide a secure, decentralized, and transparent way for people to create and transfer assets. It was created in 2018 by a group of developers who wanted to build a platform that was specifically focused on asset transfers and asset tokenization. The platform is built on top of the Bitcoin code base, but includes several modifications and enhancements that make it better suited for asset transfers. P2SH is far more transparent. Mango Farms jumps into the conversation and responds to Silk Club, DM/PM Tron. We will work it out. The point of the bounty is to get open source pools. Maybe 2 is good, maybe not. Anyone want to take on a killer open source miner that can compete with closed source ones? RVN Marketman responds, we really could enhance marketplaces in my opinion. Bad Guy TY responds to Kai, we already had it in our testnet. Nifty Ravens responds to Bad Guy TY and EVR. Silk Club responds to Mango Farms at Oh God, a girl. What do you think about this miner bounty? Nifty Ravens responds to RVN Marketman. How so? This is starting to get complicated. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully you guys are following along. If you guys aren't following along, you guys can do so by going over to the development meetings channel. I am reading from the April 7th meeting. Okay, continuing. Kinkajou responds. So it has been tested extensively and many users/community members have spent years preparing for it. I responds to Beg ITY. Oh, so you guys have been swapping assets already. I never participated on RVN's testnet much. I am, however, interested in mineable assets, so might start. Mango Farm's response to Steel Club. This would be excellent. Nifty Raven's response to Kinkajou. The same ones that fork the chain. Kinkajou response to Nifty Ravens. No, the ones you're talking to right now. Nifty Ravens responds, by extensively, you mean? Question mark. Raven Marketman responds to Nifty Ravens. Far less need for manual work. Inserting, copy/pasting addresses, human error. Of course, once code has been inspected, much more seamless marketplace UI for users too. Tron responds, I am not the gatekeeper on P2SH. If there is sufficient reason and use cases for P2SH and enough information to get all economic actors and large majority of the mining pools in every language move over, then it can be done. Make sure that the percent before activation is high enough to reduce hard fork confusion risk. Kinkajou responds, also a talented core developer who left the project in part because we struggled to push a relatively simple and much needed update. RVN Market Man responds, all right, rest in peace, my dog. Nifty Ravens responds to Kinkajou, who? Mango Farms responds to Kinkajou, Kink, with respect, if a developer wants to implement a fork, there is nothing stopping them other than their own inability to get people to implement a fork. Kinkajou responds to Mango Farms. The dev didn't want a fork. I'm talking about F-Dog, not Hans. Mango Farms responds, I'm not sure what F-Dog's intentions are, but my point is blame the couple hundred thousands people using RVN for whatever it was not being implemented. RVN Marketman responds, it's obviously a little contentious for a fork and requires a lot of education on everyone's part who understands it. This cannot be emphasized enough. Serums responds, decentralization. RVN Marketman responds, the double-edged sword we wield. Kinkajou responds to RVN Marketman, this is more contentious. When the person showing up to protest the fork we spent years preparing for runs a business that would be threatened by having another means of exchanging assets. Dao Dao responds to Mango Farms. Is that a solid approximate for number of users in RV? Mango Farms responds, no clue. Seems reasonable. RV and Market responds to Kinkajou. Sure, but I think it's important we focus on the education of what the proposal is and how it can enhance everyone's use of the chain. Nifty Ravens responds to RV and Market Man. I'm one day away from automation, true automation. RV and Market Man responds, it comes down to this. Everyone cries development and wants more. This will require a fork at some point down the road. The question that needs to be asked is this worth it? Kinkajou responds to RV and Market Man, agreed. Multi-sig for assets is essential to safe custody, especially among businesses. RV and Market Man responds to Kinkajou, agreed 100%. If I had a security token, I'd like it to be secured in the best possible manner. Bad Guy 2Y responds to Nifty Ravens. Your marketplace should look into pulling and posting listing user squawkers protocol. As would investors, RVN Marketman responds. Nifty Ravens responds to Bad Guy 2Y. Point me in the direction. We can talk offline. Bad Guy 2Y responds to Nifty Ravens. And Nifty Ravens responds with the automation starting out for Discord, though. If successful, niftyraven.com won't be a no anymore. Mango Farms responds, if anyone, Christie or anyone else wants to take up that minor bounty, it would be a huge value add. It baffles me that decentralized blockchains are mined largely with closed source software that pays perpetual percentages to developers and have black box code such that nobody has a clue what is in them. Let's change that model. RVM Marketman responds to Mango Farms. Boo, two miners, boo. And Barry Styles responds with a at Mango Farms. This is something that personally shits me. People yell decentralization, yet everyone is using closed miners. Sir Crone jumps into the conversation and responds to Kinkajou with, technically, people can trade without a marketplace right now. And Mango Farms responds, yep, I remember my first order of Bitmain S1s and was shocked. The best way to mine SHA-256 was a piece of closed source Chinese hardware and software with backdoors into my network. And we worry about TikTok. Nifty Ravens responds to Kinkajou. I've molded my business model around the core value of RVN. Seal Club responds, at the moment there is no good in the alternative for the closed source miner. RVN Marketman responds to Nifty Ravens. I look forward to seeing it, dude. I would really recommend you talk with one of the core devs off here and ask, where am I? I looked away from my screen for a moment. I look forward to seeing it, dude. I would really recommend you talk with one of the core devs off here to ask about P2SH to understand how it could help your business. And Nifty Ravens responds, letting the blockchain tell the truth. And Barry Styles responds, in regards to your SHA-256, wouldn't it be funny if nonces were dropped in firmware for export customers? Never. Kai responds with a, we worked pretty hard with bounties to get still hoping we can circle back to mineable assets from P2SH. I didn't know that we had that the status of the proposal was, or if it was even a RIP, a Ravencoin improvement proposal. Mango Farms responds to Barry Styles, of course not. And bleed was never a thing. Nothing to see here, cause decentralized. And Bad Guy 2 responds to Circron, yeah, but who really wants to trade to RVN to buy an asset when you should be able to list a RVN asset for sale directly in BTC? Nifty Raven's response to RVN Market Man, sides of shady business. If we didn't, if we did such, RVN Market Man test. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay. Did I get disconnected again? I did. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now, John. All good now.
Okay, thank you. All right. So should I continue with the April 7th meeting or should I continue on? Anything? No? Okay, I'll continue on. So this is Circle in response to back ITY. So why use crypto to buy an asset when I can buy it with fiat? And RVM Market Man response to Bad Guy TY. I can show you. Bad Guy TY response to Circron because that requires trust. Kinkajou response to Circron. Trustless app swap. Where? Question mark. If converting BTC to RVN is such a pain, then how do you expect people to convert fiat to BTC or Raven? Nifty Raven's response to Kinkajou, RVN, NFT RVN Discord, LOL. Circron response to Kinkajou, you were trying to poke a hole in his business model. We technical. Don't need a MP to trade crypto for an asset. King of the response to Nifty Ravens. So, not trustless then, and you missed my point. Kai responds, anything in Discord requires trust by nature of the fact it's Discord. Nifty Ravens responds, Twitter. RV and Market Man responds, trustless is a contract baked in code where terms must be met from both sides to execute. This is important for RVN on every level. And he continues to respond to Kai with in Microsoft we trust. And Mango Farms responds, pay to script hash swaps would be easy to implement. Tron's comment about consensus risk and hard fork risk is the only concern I've heard expressed. Both are real. If P2SH is going to be implemented, it needs a champion and lots of work to make it so. Serum's responds, trust me, bro. And Nifty Ravens responds with P2P. Bad Guy TY responds to Kai with a, yeah, all users of Discords are evil and not to be trusted. Oh, wait. And King Joe responds, yeah, trust in social media to set up a trade where you trust another party, to be honest, is not trustless. And Sir Crone responds, that does require trust. King Joe responds, trust the code. And Kai responds to Bad Guy, it meant more the platform requires trust in the parent company. And if the Ravens responds to Kinkajou, then leave it alone. Kai responds, also Discord bots are hosted products. RV Market Man responds, any way that we can bring more utility for users and trust is good by me. RSK. And Nifty Ravens responds to Kai, by the marketplace. Bad Guy TY responds to Kai, as a host of a Discord bot for 6 years, I am very aware. Kinkajou responds to Nifty Ravens, if we left it alone, people couldn't trust it. And right now, the code needed isn't there to be trusted. Hence, this discussion. And RV Market Man responds to Nifty Ravens, trust level 2. Kai responds to Bad Guy TY, so you know it's a trusted solution. That's all I'm saying. Sir Chrome responds to Kinkajou, well, has forking RVN to implement P2SH worked out yet? Question mark. Give us a working model to play on. Bad Guy TY responds, that's why I started out with P2SH when. RVN Market Man responds to Sir Chrome, hasn't went to vote yet. Kinkajou responds to Sir Crone, we haven't even attempted. The code isn't even written yet. Barry Styles with a Kinkajou with it was on testnet, then pulled. Dowdow responds to Birdman, where does the voting occur? Sir Crone responds to Birdman, no different than chain entirely. Barry Styles responds, isn't already in the code base, needs version bits to be activated. Tron responds, why did you not implement P2SH when you knew this was meant for assets and P2SH went around them? Seal Club responds to Sir Crone, well, there is this one chain. And Mango Farms responds to Kink, it was only pulled so the forking mechanism could be tested. Birdman responds, but I'll say this, if it brings greater utility and more people use the chain as a result of the fork, then more mining fees will come. The miners control the chain direction. Kinkajou responds to Mango, correct. The testnet should accurately reflect the conditions of the mainnet. Sir Chrome responds to Silk Club, which, question mark. Kai responds, I think the risk/reward of P2SH is worth it. Mango responds to Kink, 100%. I forked it the first time. It was fun. Birdman responds to Kai, we've tested it thoroughly and shown use case of it. I agree. Tron responds to Nifty, not on the radar at the time. Kink responds to Mango, we don't get enough credit for almost single-handedly keeping the testnet alive for years. Thank you for all the work you do in that regard. Mango Farms responds, meh, no worries. I like all this. No need for credit. We all do what we do. Birdman responds, this will require much help from whoever can assist to even get material out on what P2SH is, the downsides, and all as well as outreaching to mining pools like Kinkajou was saying. Circron responds, just so I have an idea of who I am talking to, right now Mango Farms is Adam or Doug. Mango Farms response to Circron, always Doug. Circron response to Mango Farms, you are a coder too, question mark? RV Market Man response to Mango Farms, can we get a shirt that says that? Circron responds, I never asked, lol. Seal Club responds to Circron, EVR has P2SH on assets as well. And Circron responds to Seal Club, well, Hans kind of killed it with your high dev fees, lol. Mango Farms responds to Circron, I try. I'm not an expert, I'm more of a systems engineer. I design all the prototypes and build the first versions, then iterate with people who are far better than me to make it a production reality. Circron responds to Mango, and you're always, and you're a lawyer, question mark. You can play around on there, is all I'm saying. Seal Club responds to Circron, and Mango Farms responds with a yes. RBN Market responds to Mango, shout out Mango Farms plus my asset marketplace. And Mango responds to Circron, yes, no need to continue talking about me, this is a development meeting. Kink responds, a true renaissance meeting. Kai responds to Kink, is this where I ask for the green roll that Bruce has? Trom responds to Seal Club, that is a good test of the code. Is anyone using P2SH on EVR, question mark? Who sent me a message? Okay, got it. Nifty Ravens responds to Mango, how do you take your coffee? Question mark, come on, you guys, come on. Seriously. Circron responds to Mango, I am not allowed to ask questions about members. Question mark. Seal Club responds to Tron, Hans was working on adding atomic decks. Kai responds to Tron, I think they are on testnet. Moontree is working on a DEX solution. RVN Marketman responds to Tron, from what I've gathered, Hans has tested thoroughly the difficulty in P2SH for EVR and BTC is running core on both chains, though he is working through solutions on ease of use. Kinkajou responds, I used P2SH on RVN when it was on the testnet. Hans worked with atomic decks, should be more revealing. Kai responds, I think when/if that launches, we can do some fun stuff at Tron. Circron responds, if we are to trust the devs working on the chain, I think development qualifications would be step 1, lol. RVN Marketman responds, if you are referencing Doug, he isn't a core dev. Kai responds, I follow EVR for P2SH updates and have made a few tokens there, but I don't see anyone doing swaps as far as I know. RVN Marketman responds to Kai, ease of use has been the primary concern/issue. Kai responds, I was going to and was talking with Komodo, but got sidetracked. Serums responds, the devs have established their qualifications long ago. This meeting is for development issues. Circron's response to RVN Marketman, why is it I get pushback anytime I ask questions? This was simply answered, lol. Barry Styles responds, what would development qualifications consist of, lol? Circon responds to Barry Styles, well, if a graphic designer was responsible for recoding the whole chain, I would be weary, lol. I would hope a blockchain dev was coding a script or WTF, lol. Yeah, Barry Styles responds. Circon responds with, so asking the members of their roles would be a valid inquiry. Barry Styles responds, so our self-appointed title? This is really not a development communication. What's going on here? This is starting to get a little annoying. I'm actually I'm going to skip a lot of this. This is just random conversations here now. I think I'm just scrolling down, seeing if there's anything interesting here for the 7th of April. And there it is. Sir Chrome responds with a, please stay on topic. Yes, please. Because that conversation went way sidetracked, way too long. Now I understand why there's so much messages here, because normally these meetings are very short and to the point. But to this particular day, there was a lot of extra mumbo jumbo conversations in here. And looks like there were some messages deleted here. Not sure what those messages were. A lot of messages have been deleted. I don't know what that's about. Normally messages are not deleted, especially when they're in the development meetings channel. It just goes to show you that there's a lot of side conversations going on here, which shouldn't have been allowed. And I'm still scrolling down to find anything worthy, because right now there's still just some general conversations, but not really development wide. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me scroll back up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's keep, once this is from Frame, let's keep this discussion in the lanes. So again, this was just getting out of control. All right, so here we go with Kai. Any mineable assets proposal is prime, but I guess it's back burned until P2SH. Fram responds with a pros/cons of mining at pool level. I think distributing it at the pool level makes sense, says Kai. And Kinkajou responds to it, that isn't the proposal submitted, and can/has already been done. And a Birdman response allows participation for everyone with benefits without having to mine a block solo. The proposal and this meetings are for core development, response Kinkajou. And RVN Marketman responds, an extended core wallet with IPFS integration is coming soon. Oh, I didn't want to say it publicly, but yes, that is true. Remember this, people. Remember this. RVN Marketman has put it on the table right there. I cannot highlight. Can't highlight it. There it is. An extended core wallet with IPFS integration is coming soon. Remember this, because this will make a big difference in the core wallet. Trust me. Do not forget this. I did hear about that a few months ago, but I don't want to say anything because I think the developer did not want to come out publicly with that yet. They don't really want to be like, you don't want to be hassled or pressured to push the code out. So I'm not going to say who it is, but there is people out there working on integrating IPFS into core, which is going to be amazing. All right. Kink responds with a, but yes, Push and Wall Street V2. Pool did that last year, 2 years ago, for reference and as a test of the concept for the proposal to add them to core. And Bad Guy TY responds, okay, I see it. We need to, number one, get P2SH up and running so we have a way for assets to be traded without the use of RVN beyond transaction fees. Number two, get mineable assets up. With P2SH, these will be tradable for any crypto cross chains and not reliant on stable RVN prices for exchanging them or having their trading pairs tied directly to RVN. Oh God, a girl responds to Silk Club. Unfortunately, they don't have time yet for side projects. Just moved house and still focused on setting up my office and lab in between work and consulting. Okay. Let's scroll a little bit more down because it looks like this is getting sidetracked again. There we go. This is a response to Vincent. This is from RV and Marketman. Your complaints is that the chain caters to regulations it need be. Nobody forced your hand using it, but making it accessible is important for people who can who do care, like people building securities. Mango Farm's response to Bless Your Heart. I invented, designed, and implemented a wallet, IPFS pinning service, and several other products that people use on REN. I am not, never have been, a core developer. I am a user who builds stuff for second layer and now do so with a team of people. No problems with questions. If there's any the word ambiguity, whatever. I have never submitted a single line of code to RVN Core. I don't code C++. Haters gonna hate and use the wallet that came from my head anyways. That is true. I gotta give him a thumbs up for that. Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so scrolling on down. I have so much. I have never seen a dev meeting with so much random conversations. Okay. Right, so RV Market Man wraps up the 7th of April at 2:44 p.m. Well, it seems we should wrap this up. Thanks everyone for coming. Keep in mind, this is the first dev meeting for many and really want to encourage more people to come and participate. However, we can work that out best. I'll leave to everyone else. But keep in mind, we all want the best for RVN and are here to see how/where we can contribute. Much love, everybody, and thanks for coming. That's an amazing way to end it. Love, thank you. All right, channel open, serums. So it looks like serums and RV and Market Man are both working together to get these meetings together, which is great. I mean, that last meeting wasn't, it was good to show that there was some involvement there from the community, but there was a lot of sidetracking going on there. Let's see how today's meeting went. So this is April 14th. This is today. And give me a second here. I'm going to close the door because there's another meeting going on in the room next door. And I don't want to be talking too loud. So give me a second here. Okay, be right back. Is it already 7 o'clock? Yeah, I was supposed to be done with this meeting at 7. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Today, thanks for coming, everyone. Last week was a great meeting. We spoke on the points of launch for usage. We need some contact info for a few mining pools. Email preferred, Discord, Telegram, etc. And the sooner we get that filled out, we can get the vote on. I'll attach a contact sheet if some people could help out. And there is a whole list of sites here. AIKApool.com. I don't even want to go through all these. C3 Pool, Fly Pool, Call.io, my2coins.com, poolevent.com. solarmine.org, zpool.ca. And hey, yo. And Ryan responds with a yo. Urban Market Man, what's up, dude? Ryan responds, just running errands, got my niece's birthday tomorrow. And what's up, guys, gals? Any development from where we left off last week? What do we need to do to get PTSH to testnet again? To my understanding, it was on testnet when testnet then was pulled. Once it is out there, what do we need to test it before it can be voted on? Serum responds with a at Tron, at Hanschmidt, at Draws. I know there was some testing being done. I think Abdov had things being tested / worked on. Contact sheet. Yeah, I want to get a list of tasks that we need to complete so that we can have developers, testers completing them. It has been tested quite a bit by our core testers, though more testing certainly would not hurt. Bottom line is, no work is going to happen without a completed contact sheet. Yes, I just want to make sure this doesn't fail from a technical holdup. I want PTSH assets so we can have HTLCs with Euro stablecoins. Kink response, I personally went through and tested every single item on FDOB's PTSH checklist except the ARM/Mac OS stuff. And Birdman responds, agreed. That and education to the miners about what PTSH is so they can vote on it. Some YouTube videos would probably be helpful. And here's a link from Kink at github.com/appdoving/raven/stash/blob/main/testing-4.7.0 test.md. And Kai responds, Kink, have you tried BTC talk threads for any of these pools? I have an older account, sometimes that helps. I can post images, etc. I have not. That's a fantastic idea, though. I'll do that today. Most pools I know, a IKA pool does have a thread. I'll take a look. Roger that. Any help would be welcome and appreciated. This is great. I love this. This is teamwork, community teamwork. And Sean jumps into the conversation where the question is whether there's enough interest and use case to justify the very real risk of adding it and requesting all the mining pools and economic actors update. Miners and mining pools ultimately decide, but the economic actors, merchants, exchanges, etc., cannot be surprised by the update, or they get scammed. Casual users and hodlers can update whenever. If they find their RVN and assets aren't accepted, they research and find out they're on the wrong fork. That is absolutely true. That's why there needs to be some sort of like marketing team or a marketing campaign to let the world know that this is going on. Okay, Kink response to Tron. Trustless swaps between RVN assets and cryptocurrencies, Ravencoin, Bitcoin, etc. was always the use case for Ravencoin as I understood it. PTSH for assets is essential to this. Ravencoin has already solved the issue of assets custody/ownership, though PTSH builds on top of this as well. But we still need to give users the ability to trade those assets within alien and centralized systems. Bad guy to response to Tron? Definitely. I think me bringing online a blockchain-based public ledger peer-to-peer exchange with no intermediaries should be enough to generate a desire for the changes. As it stands, we can publish any PTSH-enabled blockchain swaps, RVN or otherwise. I just want to also be able to offer those swaps for RVN assets also. Basically using Squawker's protocol to post the desire for trades. Already tried that a few times. As an NFT marketplace, could you see it making your job more efficient, Ryan, at Justin Ortiz? Kika's response, more secure as well, and cross-chain. And more profitable. Ryan responds, so just curious, is the overall intent of PTSH to work alongside with others too? You have a handful of exchanges/marketplace who have worked the past 2 to 3 years providing services to RVN who effectively could be put out of commission from PTSH. Can they not? Question mark. Win, win, win. And can you get your response to Ryan? Someone would need to build a competing product first and make it user-friendly enough to capture market shares away from the existing marketplaces. Response to Ryan, I think they are saying, in theory, anyone who doesn't see it coming could be affected. It's not likely users would resort to using command line tool and manually doing P2SH swaps. That is absolutely true. So if you create it, they will come, right? If you create and build it, they will come. Like Keith was saying, most people are not going to use command line. They're going to use a GUI interface. So if you make a very nice, elegant website, people will use it. Which is great. All right, continuing on. Let's find something good around here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So for example, they just use NFT's portal to execute the swap, and in return for that user's convenience, a small fee would be added to this transaction that would go to you. Difference is you would be responsible for executing the transaction. Exactly. Great. Yeah, which is more ideal and something we have been working towards with atomic swaps. Exactly. It just makes it more secure. It's great that Ryan understands. But instead of a smart contract, it's enforced by a core protocol. Yes, exactly. So it's even better. Yeah, definitely. I could see a case where a market gets a fee for writing up contracts and make it simple for the end user to find and execute trades. P2SH won't help with order matching or price discovery. It would just facilitate the trade. Those services still need to be built. Lots of room for development and incentive for P2SH as well then. I mean, Squawker could provide an open platform for publishing those trades and markets, could list the trades available on the open marketplace and get a cut from either end. Okay, let's scroll on down here. Let's see here. Tron response to bag.ty. 100% exchanges are important to notify. If they don't update by the time it activates, they are at risk of trading fake or incorrect fork RVN for real BTC or other. There is a buffer built in due to the two phases activation. Other economic actors accepting RVN for payment can also be scammed, but probably not the speed at which an exchange would be scammed. Agreed. Communication is key. So again, as I said, there needs to be a global marketing team to let everybody know what's coming. Okay. All right. So I think that's where RVN Market ends the meeting for today. Well, we hit our hour mark. I appreciate those who joined, and let's try and get this contact list done, everyone. Have a great weekend, and let's keep building. RVN. Great. Thank you. Channel's closed. Thanks all. And I'm going to open it up to Brick and RVN Market Man. Welcome, you guys.
How are you, John? You good?
I am good. What's going on with you, man?
There was some long chats on those on that you went through.
Yes, it
Uh,
was pretty long.
I think Quading had a bit of initiation in his first week of being part of the team.
Is that what it was?
I'm not too sure whether Quading can hear or not. No, he's obviously logged in, but yeah, well, welcome, great initiation, Quading.
Welcome to having any responsibility inside of the Ravencoin Discord. And it's like the lightest amount of it. And now, then I become the target.
Actually, probably on a I mean, obviously some positive things in there as well, but probably on a positive note, I probably just want to raise the. You made a point during the week, and Ryan actually did respond in terms of the possibility of a second foundation focusing on the market activities for Ravencoin. Do we want to talk to that point there? I think it was a great
Yes.
initiation there.
Yeah, I think it's I would say imperative. And the way that I look at it is people don't like the idea of the current foundation doing too much,
Hmm.
because then it seems like a centralized decision by Tron and Doug. And not that, I mean, it's not entirely wrong, but at the same time, I don't feel like that. I think their hands are a little tied when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I think that that's something where the community could really come together in accomplishing something that really does help drive it. I mean, you look at how Bitcoin really became in a prominent space and why development started happening in such a rapid fashion, as there was some companies and groups that were formed on, and they really they really built Bitcoin and became a big thing. And I think that's I don't know. It just seems like we followed the footsteps of Bitcoin for everything else, and it seems rational to follow it there.
I think it's a great idea. I think in terms of obviously as you said, obviously our whole objective in terms of Ravencoin blockchain is to be totally decentralized at that end of scheme when it comes to decentralization. And I think I think keeping true to that, it makes sense. Keep that away from the actual foundation itself. To have a separate group, whatever you want to call it, that sort of drives the marketing activities as a community. I mean, we're all doing our own bits in our own sort of ways and contribution, but I think it'd be great to have a sort of a central point to drive it, which basically becomes a bit more organized and more direct in terms of the activities and so forth to really take it to the next level. I think it's a great idea, mate. I think Ryan came out and actually put his hand and accepted the to be sort of at the forefront of it to drive that from that perspective. So no, great. I agree. I fully support it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this proposal for P2SH and going up to vote. Granted, we live in a world of information where you could literally just fucking Google something, but for some reason, people still can't do that. And there's a lot of people who still don't understand what P2SH is. And I can guarantee you there's a lot of miners who have no fucking idea what it is. Well, how do we expect
I
people to
would
vote
I
on
would say
something that they don't
let
know?
me let me let me interject there. I think when it comes to miners, they don't really care about that. Right? They can give a damn about that. They're not making profit whether it's implemented or not. They don't. It doesn't make a difference to them.
Well, I mean, they're voting on it, so I feel like it really
So,
does kind of matter.
well,
Because I mean, they're not going to vote for something that would hurt miners, right? Like they got to understand how it could potentially help them.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it comes back to the point you made in terms of having a central drive as a community to making sure we're all speaking the same language and having the same ideas and well, not some ideas, but in terms of having that sort of central point to be able to again not just in terms of keep increasing our own knowledge as a collective, but also in terms of reaching out to other in terms of developers, miners, and everybody that really doesn't know anything about Ravencoin to bring him into the community. And I think as a collective, I think the marketing foundation will be a very good initiative to having this that central drive to take it forward as a community.
I
Uh,
absolutely agree because, like I was reading here in this meeting or last week's meeting, one of the biggest issues we're going to have is just communicating with basically the world because we don't have a marketing team. It doesn't exist, right? It's just pretty much us as volunteers just pushing this communication out. So if we can fund a good marketing team, that would probably be the best way to do it. And if everybody could donate to the foundation, that would be great to get that ball rolling. Well, since we have Kink, Silk Clubber, and who do we have? Kai, we have you guys here. You guys want to give us some updates on just your guys' POV of what's going on with Ravencoin and is PTSH going to be a reality here pretty soon?
I'm not going to say anything. Can you hear me? Do I sound all right?
You sound like you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool, man. Yeah. So you kind of went. I'm sure you went over in the meeting, but it seems like the first step is Kinkajou or whatever has the pool list there and the pool shills channel. We need to have the contact to all the pools to make them aware of the fork or potential fork that would be upcoming. So if they're not aware of it, they don't know where to place who to vote for. They're going to remain on probably the shorter and oldest chain. Or I'm sorry, you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, it's kind of late where I'm at, but if we don't notify the pools, then they don't know there's an upgrade to be had. So that's step one. The thing the community should focus on, especially if you're in non-development, is figuring out points of contact for those pools. We talked about BTC Talk being one of those. Oh, what you want, buddy? What did I do? BTC Talk being one of those points of contact that we're going to all explore as a community, because pools like Aika Pool, for instance, is one of the points of contact that we need to get in contact with. They're kind of they've always been an easy pool to interface with. And they're on BTC Talk. They have an account, so we can PM them. If that doesn't work, then we could always follow up in their thread and just be like, hey, this is happening in Ravencoin. And then we're interacting directly with their miners. What few, some of the big guys still skim those threads, and bots are all over the place with them. So, it's worth exploring as an option. But that's the only thing we need to focus on as far as you want to, when you have agendas, especially when there's already a proposal out there, you want to look at what's actionable. And the first actionable thing is that. And they already have a pretty extensive exchange list. I'm not trying to speak for them in that, but that's out there. They can find it in the Discord. So there's really nothing really. Other than that, I don't know if we're playing Aristocats in anything off topic right now. It's where everyone's the Aristocats. I'm the orange one. Coils is the one with the sunglasses. You know what I mean? He's like the jazz one.
Here's another thing that
Yeah.
that needs to be brought up. Obviously, there is a lack of activity in the network, and with community. There's not really much going on. So how can we do
They
a
just
180?
they just saved our butts on they just did a loose, they did a tiny fix there. They had to coordinate for behind the scenes. Did you see that?
What are
Kinkajou
you talking
coordinated that. I shouldn't speak for him again, but what?
Go ahead.
Oh no. I think the community is as active as community coins, especially one that's not like a top 50 all the time coins get. I think that it's slow but certain. And a lot of it's not we could put the cart before the horse and run this thing into the ground. And they've almost done it a few times. And I think that's why things are so slow. But at the same time, sorry. What's that?
How do you ride a horse?
Well, not by yelling at them or telling them or driving them away. I don't know. We kind of have a habit here
With
of
reins, bro. With
driving
reins.
away developers. I think I can say that it happens for a multitude of reasons, but that a lot of the guys who want to see things like mineable assets, right? Or we want to see a lot of those guys come back and still work on the code. And that's why, for instance, I can't remember, FDove, I think, might have consulted on this latest fix thingy there, which is that's cool to see. Or or Blonde Frogs did, which is cool to see. We haven't seen those dudes in Discord or around for a while, but it's cool to see that they still can help when we need it. In situations like that, I'm not too clear on exactly what the buggy poo or whatever there was. It's all in Jaraz's article though. Had something to do with. So go ahead.
So it looks like King said, speaking of driving away developers, Mango Farm seems to have left the Discord and deleted his Twitter stuff.
That's a shame. That's
Fantastic
the most. That's the most valuable. That's the most valuable member of the community.
Did he delete the stuff, or did King just get blocked?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna. Here's the thing, man. Here's what's going on there, and I can cut through the bullshit on your community day if you want. That dude is taking a bunch of shit. Been very somewhat as he has taken and I'm not even talking about the shit he's taken now. It's easy for him to defend because it's his family he's defending at the end of the day. And I won't go any further than that. The shit in the past that I've seen that guy deal with from people demanding answers for him just simply for working on the foundation is like, holy crap. It makes it hard for anyone to want to donate any time to this project because no matter how hard you work, when you're done, someone can just attack the shit out of you and no one will use your product. So it's a very real problem that we face as a community. And I think the first step is talking about it at things like Community Day. I'm not really the person to
Oh,
bring it up
you know what?
because,
Thank you for
or
bringing that
maybe I
up.
am
You know
because
what?
I've been toxic myself, but
Well,
it's just
yeah,
kind of where
yeah.
we're
You know
at.
what? I was having a little fun with it, and but I didn't realize there was a whole backstory to that, and now I
There is,
understand what's
man.
going on. So yeah, thank you. No, thank you for bringing that up, 'cause I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and it's really like I said. I just kind of made a short of a really long Twitter harassment campaign against that guy. Listen, that guy,
Um,
he runs services for the coin. He does, I would call it engineering work for the. They don't want to call him he's a developer for the. He doesn't work on the core product, on the core coin. Like he doesn't work on Ravencoin, but he develops
yeah,
products for Ravencoin that
yeah,
everyone
second layer.
uses and have moved the community forward as a whole, right, in a direction. Those services. So, it's just he's the wrong guy to take up something petty with, and that it really seems to be, and not that the issue itself is petty, but like how he's being treated is like what he's being treated like that over is like it has nothing to do with Ravencoin. It has nothing to do with the blockchain. It's just identity politics, and that's why he left because he can work on a blockchain anywhere. It was him doing us a courtesy for him to spend his time here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say what he does for work. He said it a million times. You know what I mean? Like it's just stupid. He's the wrong guy to fuck with.
I agree 100%.
I'm glad someone else agrees. That's cool. I don't even know who that was. But hey, man, as far as like community stuff for me, I think that we should bring back trivia. I'm gonna do slow and steady like the turtle. I've heard some people have thrown around that we should give away assets. I think that's cool. I've like been thinking about that. I was originally thinking about just giving away Ravencoin like the old days, but it's something that I think we should explore more in the chats and as a community because we can get people around ideas like exploring the pool shill list by holding trivia events, just by holding the trivia event and then at the end of it kind of segueing it the way that we do with the development meetings, the way that we're like, oh, and you can continue this conversation here. We can say, hey, and you can help with we're going to continue here. It's basically raiding your own channel. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that we
What
could
about?
definitely do something like that with trivia and rally people around. Even something like one of
Sounds
your
good.
videos, John, be like, hey,
Yeah,
today's trivia was sponsored by John's fucking video, but like we're not charging anyone for sponsorship. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Easy peasy.
In regards to raising funds, I think doing like an auction giveaway of like loaded bags.
Raising funds
I
for
did
what?
reach out to for any particular campaign that we want to like push towards. Like say
Are
for example,
you
'cause I reached out to
you talk about marketing? Sorry.
well, it can be anything, right? So I reached out to Raven Angels and I said, hey, it would be really good to revive the Raven Angels and develop a campaign of whatever you think would be good for the beneficial of the economy or the community, right? And one way to do that is to have the community donate whatever they have in regards to assets into a loaded bag and then auction off that loaded bag. All proceeds go to X thingamajig, whatever you guys want to use it for. That's a good way to get the community involved and active and reconnected to people because that's what we need. We need to bring unity back to the community, right? Because obviously there's some issues going on there. So that'd be one great way to do that. And I think having Raven Angels lead that would probably be one of the greatest things out there to reconnect some of the community again and bring some activity back.
I don't know those dudes so well. So if you're looking for a reply from me on that one, I support your initiative wholeheartedly. Just let me know what I could do to help. I don't think I think other people are more well connected with Raven Angels than I. I know they've got a Discord, right? They still have a Discord.
Yes, they have a Discord and they are active in there. So Kink
Cool.
says, John can't raise funds with no goal. Make a goal, then raise funds you need for it. Like Brave advertising requires 10K a month. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do so. I messed with Facebook advertising a little bit for this bad boy, but I was just being. I used it I kind of weaponized it. I was kind of mad at Korea at the time. You know, I get mad at Upbit sometimes, and I will like do like a small Facebook campaign to people only in Korea, being like, "You suck." So maybe we could do a nicer way of doing that.
Well, like Kink was saying, AdSense would be cheaper. Let's
Yeah,
see, but
they're right
payback
about
campaigns
that.
can be funded with crypto and audited. Yeah, that's cool. That's real cool. So yeah, obviously there's some ideas that we can throw around there. We need obviously talk a lot more about this. What do you think, Raven Market Man? Something to bring up in the next meeting. More campaign, more marketing, global campaign.
Not the development meeting, unless you can tie it to something with development. So like the development meeting, is that what you're talking about?
Well,
So if you
yeah,
want, you want
I
to
did.
I think, dude, you know what, man? I think that we should get you just in touch with Mango or Tron and figure out how we can best utilize your particular talents to like work in tandem with the foundation as far as if you're looking for funding,
Well,
because that's
no,
where.
no, 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 no. I
Okay, I
reached
was gonna
out to
say
the
that's like a
foundation.
legal entity that we can pay bounties from. You know?
So I reached out to the foundation and even asked if I can host the foundation meetings because one issue I have with the
Oh.
foundation, and I'm sure you guys know as well, is that they're not really transparent. And all 501c3s need or 501s. What are they? 501ce? I think it was 501ce.
You know what, man? I really don't know how they formed it. I wanted it to be like a 501c3 or whatever they're called, like a nonprofit. I thought those
Mhm.
had to be fairly transparent. I think they made it more like a company, so they're just doing what's like, I guess, within their right to do, where they
No,
made the thing.
they
Did
still
they do
need
it
to
in
publish the
Wyoming?
minutes.
Because he really wanted to use that Wyoming bank with that girl that time.
Okay, so they still need to publish the minutes every month. They still need to publish minutes, but it's been over a year since there has been any minutes published from the foundation. As a matter of fact, I can put this on the record right now since I have the
That was
website up.
Joe's job.
Ravencoin Foundation right now. Go to board meeting minutes, and the
Uh,
last meeting was on the November 16th, 2021. So that's a while. That's a while ago.
yeah, I get. You know what, man? I can't speak to that. That maybe that's why. You know, they're supposed to get 100K a year from Overstock for like 4 years. And I've been talking about it. People don't talk about it, man. I think it's like, I don't know what came first, right? Them not publishing the minutes or Overstock not paying them. But to me, to me, it seemed like almost like, and maybe I'm just making it all up because I'm the guy who just, I'm the crazy guy. But like, to me, it seems almost like they're like, well, we're not going to publish any minutes if you're not going to give us the money. And Overstock's were like, we're not giving you the money, so don't publish the minutes.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Because they
But
are supposed to
anyways,
have some cash
I
backing for, I
volunteer.
think, Tron to, I mean, basically it was Tron slash the coin's operating cost. There wasn't a lot of money,
Yeah. Well,
but
I
they're not paying
volunteered
it.
to host it.
Oh, I think that's really kind of you. Did they get back to you?
But no, it's still just
Uh,
sitting there. I've asked several times throughout the year, and I'm just
Sorry,
being
buddy.
ignored.
Well, you know what, man? I don't know what the plans for the foundation are, considering the things I just told you.
Well,
And I'm not,
that's
again, don't
exactly,
take everything they say.
exactly.
Like sometimes stuff I hear is like just like some hearsay from through the vines and stuff. So, but from what I could
Well,
gather,
exactly.
I thought it was what their initial
That
agreement
is
was.
an issue,
I'm sorry to hear that.
right? Wouldn't you consider that an issue if there's no like real vision
Yeah.
of what the
Would
foundation is
I
doing?
consider? I don't give a shit what the foundation. I don't give a shit what it does. You know what I mean? It's
No,
there.
no,
It
no,
was there
no.
to
But
give us something to
this is
pay.
but no, no, but this is. But
Oh,
you got to
so,
understand that there's a lot of people in the community that have donated a lot of money to the foundation because there was some
oh,
expectation there that there was going to be some use case of those funds. But as of right now, it's
yeah,
kind of
John.
hasn't
My
done anything,
friend.
right?
I hear that, my friend. You know what, dude? No one knows this better than me. I ran a couple community funds. They're not the best. They're not great when people want their money spent, but I'm sure a foundation's even worse. So yeah, I do know what you're saying. As far as like how, I don't know how much they got or what the agenda is. I know Barry was looking for some money at one of the meetings, the meeting before last month. The last one. So I know some bounties are getting filled. I think when the money is there, right, and the devs are there, but the security is not, you can't just push the code. And like that's where we're at. Like if a bunch of the pools don't know what's coming, if the exchanges don't know what's coming, it's gonna make a mess. They did it. They already did it. Pissed everybody off. Like they're not gonna do it unless it's like the percent like if there's a percent risk that we can mitigate, right? In this case, it starts with letting the pools know, right? And seeing what their general response to a hard fork or anything sort of change on Ravencoin is. There's a whole bunch of their black hole. We don't even know what their sentiment is, right? And so I don't know what their hash rate. I don't know which of these pools have the majority hash rate, but they matter at the end of the day. So talking about P2SH when you don't have contact with all your pools, or at least let's say 85%, 90%, I don't know what you want your threshold to be. That's what we decided as a group, right? Is pointless. And then so talking about why the money's not being spent is also pointless. That's that's my opinion. If you have something else to spend the money on, like for instance, like if you want it spent on like marketing, like it has to have a purpose. In Ravencoin, we'd like to see that purpose be development. And if it's not, the only way you guys really want P2SH for your Swibbity swaps, that's the focus. That's been the focus. I want mineable assets. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of stuff that we want. We can put bounties up through the foundation, but we can't, if it folds, we're kind of back to fucking square one of the old Wild West days of the legal fund, which you may not remember, of my funds before that, which were a fucking nightmare. Like it's nice to have it. You know what I mean? It's cool that it's there, but it doesn't control Ravencoin. And the more, people drive away people like our lawyers and stuff like that, like the harder it's going to be for us to get them back. That's all I got to say on that, John, my man. I'm sorry if I spoke over you.
No worries. All right, so we got Boss, we got Serums in the house, Silk Club. If you guys want to jump on, Brick, if you guys want to jump on and plug in a few words or just plug in your project or what you're doing, let me know. So
if I could
this is community day, so let us know.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. If I can just set that, Kai, in terms of the point you made there, I think in terms of obviously from our perspective in tokenizing real estate, obviously we launched our property, which is the first real estate property on the Ravencoin blockchain early this year. So obviously we've made a big decision making sure that making that decision to switch from Ethereum blockchain to the Ravencoin blockchain was a massive decision for us. So obviously we've got a vested interest that Ravencoin blockchain itself is going to be successful in going forward. Hence why we participate in the marketing and all things done to help the Ravencoin chain keep developing and bringing people in to make the Ravencoin blockchain stronger and stronger going forward. In terms of the Ravencoin Foundation, and probably just the point you make, Kai, in terms of purpose of funds that's donated, at the end of the day, the Ravencoin Foundation is decentralized. That's the whole point of in terms of the environment we all work in terms of having a blockchain that is decentralized. So in terms of funds that's donated, I think in terms of that purpose, I think in terms of creating that Ravencoin marketing foundation, where there's going to be a purpose behind funds people donate towards it, and with objectives and obviously the accountability from that perspective, I think this is where I think it's going to be more effective moving forward. I think donating money to crypto money to the foundation, I don't think that's the right way to go forward with. And again, I don't know what their finances are like, but again, it's based on a centralized foundation. So again, it's they're doing their thing in terms of what happens there, but again, it's I think to move forward, I think there's going to be a purpose behind in terms of how we take the Ravencoin blockchain forward with in terms from a marketing perspective. And I think having funds donated towards that will be more effective because as a collective, we're all going to agree in terms of what some of the initiatives are going to be from that marketing foundation perspective. So yeah, look at and probably just on the blockchain itself, in terms of people having different ideas in terms of what should be added to it. I think it's also a big risk that if we start changing the actual Ravencoin blockchain to accommodate things, I think it's a massive risk in terms of from the exchange's perspective. People that are doing stuff already on it, it is a risk, and this is obviously why obviously if you asked it, they thought that creating a fork of it would add additional benefits to it, and some of the areas they see going forward, dividends and so forth. So I think, like from my perspective, to muck around with the blockchain itself, I think it's a risk for us in terms of our future, in terms of tokenizing our real estate properties on it. And I think if people look at it, there's so much things you can actually, some of the solutions you can build on layer 2 on top of the Ravencoin blockchain to provide those additional things that people are looking for. So that's just my 2 cents worth in terms of where I see things. Yeah.
Thank you. I know Raven Rebels has been developing a lot of open source code for layer 2. So if you guys, for the viewers and listeners, and for you guys hanging out here that don't know, you guys can just definitely go to his website, or just hit him up for some code. He's or if you guys have an idea and just want to need a little extra hand, he'll be more than willing to help you guys out. That guy's so humble, so nice. Be willing to work with you guys to develop whatever you guys need. Great. You guys, a good team. Who else do we have? We have Boss. Boss, you're in the house. You've got a project going on. Let me know. Serums, Silk Club. Looks like Kink is responding here in the message. Let's see. Don't rely on the foundation. Make your own. Do it yourself. 100%. Great. All right. Anyone else? Going once? Serums, go ahead.
We're just trying to bring some life back into the development meetings, and I think Aaron helped a lot with that. So I'm glad, people are showing a renewed interest. We just want to keep that going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the first time I've heard Serums. Serums, you got to come back. What's up,
Hey.
buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Dude, you know what? I'm doing good. I'm doing better now. You sound so
All right.
handsome. You guys hear that
Thanks,
out on the
man.
internet? How handsome this guy sounds?
Get
All right,
outta
I'm
here.
sorry. All right.
But yeah, the idea is just to bring, want to bring positivity to that space as well. Because like Kai mentioned before, all that hatefulness is just not needed in the space.
You're absolutely right. And you have the right man leading these meetings, so that's great. I think my 2 satoshis on that is just be careful on the sidetracking that goes on in the meetings, because that was a little annoying to read through some of that stuff. If it's a development meeting, it should be straight development, not some extra stuff. But I'm sure as time goes on,
We're working on it, John. Come on, man. It was like our first go.
Yeah, I know. It was like a celebration, right? That was great. All right, guys. Anything else? You guys want to wrap it up? You guys want to plug in any shout outs to anybody?
I gotta go, guys. Take care.
All right.
Hey, take care, man. I'm gonna shout out the lounge because I think it's funny to do. Boss, I got you.
Good.
Shout out
Have
to
you ever been,
everybody.
John? Yeah, John's in the Raven Lounge. It's just it's kind of like it's the regular Raven one has like an R rating, and it's unrated over at the Raven Lounge. That's all it is. It's just like it's just like the motion picture. You know what I mean? It's just the same rating system. You got to remember that when you go in.
Funny. Yeah, it's the nest everywhere. All right, perfect. So there it is. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We're over an hour. This is great. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys on the next month's community day. All right, guys.
Bye, John. Thanks for holding this, man.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem,
John.
man. Until next time. RBN and Huddle. Adios.